years, we've had Bajaj offer us what is perhaps the widest spectrum in terms of engine displacements. You've got the 100, 110, 125, 135, 150, 160, 180, 200, 220, and then the Dominar 400. But somehow Bajaj has just about skipped the proper quarter litre or the 250cc space. Until now, that is. Because this right here is the all-new Bajaj Dominar 250. But why a Dominar 250 as opposed to, say, a Pulsar 250? And the answer to that is that Bajaj believes that there's a lot of riders out there who want to go out riding and touring, to be more precise. And for them, the step up from, say, a 150 or 200cc motorcycle to the Dominar 400 is a bit too steep. And that's why a slightly lighter and less powerful Dominar. But that's what Bajaj believes. And does this really work in the real world? That's what we're about to find out. Let's start with the design because this is the easiest bit to talk about today. I say that because at first glance the Dominar 250 looks exactly like the 400 from end to end. It's got the same ultra bright, full LED headlight and turn indicators, same rear view mirrors, same fuel tank and the same rear end as well. What has changed is the width of the tires at both ends, as the Dominar 250 uses skinnier tires. They do look a little odd at first glance since we are used to seeing the Dominar 400 with meteor rubber. On the same note, at first glance you may also not notice, but the front forks are not the same as the bigger Dominar. These are all new 37mm upside down forks, though they look exactly the same with the same silver finish. The fully digital instrument cluster is the same as the D402 but is not legible properly in harsh sunlight. Fit finish levels overall are pretty good but could have been better in some places. For instance, the plastic surround for the instrument cluster is sharp and the finish is uneven in places. I must mention that the paint quality is nice with an even sheen, while the seat cover looks nice, especially with the Dominar logo. So coming to the motor, this engine is one that we are very familiar with. We've of course seen this previously in the KTM 250 Duke. It's the same 248cc liquid-cooled engine mated to a 6-speed gearbox. But of course there's a difference because this, being a Bajaj, now gets the DTSI treatment and uses twin spark plugs. And another big difference here is that this engine offers about 3 bhp lesser. What's more noticeable than the lower output though is the fact that the power delivery is a lot easier. The KTM is of course meant to appeal to those looking for more aggressive performance as opposed to the Dominar 250, which is meant to ease lesser experienced riders into the quarter litre space. Of course, with that said, given the Dominar 400's strong engine performance, you're likely to feel the Dominar 250 could have offered some more punch, but then that's probably the enthusiast in me talking. The good thing about the Dominar 250's power delivery though, while being softer than the 250 Dukes, is also that Bajaj has altered the power and torque curves to offer more grunt at low to mid revs. And as I found out on open roads, the engine feels pretty relaxed and easy when it comes to cruising at about 100 kmph. The engine also remains vibration free through most of the rev range, though there is some vibration above 8000 rpm. The bigger highlight of course is that the Dominar 250 gets all the technology the KTM gets, including liquid cooling, a 4-valve DOHC head and a 6-speed gearbox as well, with well-spaced ratios. So while I would have liked some more power from the engine, I cannot deny the fact that the Dominar 250 engine is a well-balanced and a refined one. Moving on to ride and handling, like I mentioned, the skinnier tires do affect the Dominar 250's visual stance at first glance, but they do not disappoint on the handling front. I spent some time riding the bike in rain and the tires allowed me to go fast around corners despite the thinner 100 section front and 130 section rear tires. Bajaj also tells us that the tire sizes and profiles are exactly the same as the Pulsar RS200, but these MRFs were developed specifically for the Dominar 250 using a better compound. The relatively longer travel front forks on the bike mean it is not too quick to change direction, just like its elder sibling, but the suspension offers lots of confidence around corners. The bike also feels stable at highway speeds, while ride quality is firm but not stiff. The suspension soaks up bumps and undulations well, while the seat is easily among the most comfortable ones in the 250cc class, meaning the Dominar 250 will be a good quarter-litre touring machine. So priced at about rupees 1.6 lakh ex-showroom, the Dominar 250 is about 35,000 rupees cheaper than the Dominar 400 and roughly about 40,000 rupees cheaper than the 250 Duke, the motorcycle that it shares its engine with. And that certainly is a big difference, especially for somebody investing that kind of money on a motorcycle. And in that sense, the Dominar 250 is certainly good value for money. That said, I would have liked it to be slightly lighter and offer a bit more performance as well. But overall, if you're looking for a sub 2 lakh rupee motorcycle that's comfortable for riding long distances, this is a motorcycle you could certainly look at. And in that sense, the Dominar 250 is certainly good value for money. And then there's a bike that's making some noise, so your mic is going to catch it. So I have to end this PTC right here.